So what do mortgage brokers do? I'm Andrew Malcolm from MortgageHQ, and today we're going to have a quick chat about what would a mortgage broker do for you and what's the difference between a mortgage advisor and a mortgage broker. So a mortgage broker is going to help you get the best interest rates and the best cash back and choose the best options for the existing and the new mortgages you're looking at taking. So if you've already got a mortgage, that mortgage broker is going to help you assess whether it's worth breaking and refixing, whether it's worth breaking your mortgage and refinancing. And if you're already floating, the broker is going to help you assess, what each of the banks would offer you and whether it's worth taking action and paying for legal fees and valuations if that's what's required to do the switch. Now, mortgage advisor is somebody that's going to focus on the long term. Mortgage broker, pretty much the same thing, but they're more focused on transaction. Hey, what's your goal? I can help you reach that goal. So the next thing a mortgage broker, mortgage advisor, they're going to help you with is assessing the mortgage product options and the mortgage structure. You've probably heard of revolving credit. It comes by different names at each of the different banks, sometimes offset facility. So whether that's a total money, an orbit, flexi, there's lots of different names out there. A mortgage broker is going to help you understand how to take advantage of, how to use those products to the best of, based on your lifestyle and what suits you. And a mortgage broker is going to help you understand how to pay the mortgage off faster if that's your goal, or how to take advantage of the equity. And that takes me to the next point now. So the mortgage advisor is going to help you assess what borrowing power you've got and help you build up your property portfolio if that is the goal. And if there's any security swaps to be made or properties to be removed from your portfolio, the mortgage brokers help you understand which options you have and negotiate with the bank. So a mortgage broker does get paid commission from the banks. Usually it's a free service. There's nominal fees attached sometimes where if there's no payment for the mortgage advisor and they got to spend time on things. But what you got to remember is a mortgage advisor has access to all of the different lenders, sometimes 10, 20, 30 different options, all of the main banks. And when you're dealing with just your bank, they don't have access, and they can't actually give you advice, and they can't tell you about all the options at the different banks. So a mortgage broker is going to help you understand those options. And yeah, they do have an incentive. They won't get paid unless you get the result that you want. So they're going to see it through all the way to the end. And if something needs to be done at 9 o'clock at night or on a Saturday or Sunday, the mortgage broker has this big incentive to get something done for you because that's how they're going to get paid. So mortgage broker, mortgage advisor, call it what you want. Different types of advisors and brokers in the market, and most of the time you're going to get referred to someone or you find someone online. Just check out their reviews, check out whether they've got awards and they've got experience, and that should help you understand who you should talk to. And don't be afraid to talk to 2, 3, 4, 5 different brokers. You can't work with them at the same time, but you can talk to them and understand the way that they would present your application and the way they understand your situation and what options they present to you. And then once you've set on a mortgage broker, it should be a relationship that lasts many years, not just like when you call the bank and you don't know who you're going to get. So don't forget to subscribe, and we'll find out a lot more about what working with a mortgage broker entails. And as mortgage brokers online, our ultimate goal is to focus on educating you and educating the market, and then that makes choosing which mortgage broker to work with is an easy decision. So how does it work when you work with a mortgage broker? So the first step, maybe you've done an inquiry online, you've been onto a mortgage advisor's website, you've sent like a little bit of information, maybe you've emailed the broker. You're going to get a phone call probably, and somebody's going to chat through what your situation is, understand what's going on and what goals you've got, and they're probably going to request more information. Now the information that's been requested is pretty stock standard. It's basic things like name, property address, mortgage details, income expenses, things like that. What a mortgage advisor's team is going to do is assess what's your current situation and what options you've got. Do you have borrowing power? Do you have uncommitted monthly income? Can you separate a security? There's a bunch of things that we want to look at, we want to assess before we connect you up with a mortgage advisor for a more structured recommendation call. So when you're talking with that mortgage advisor, it's not a question and answer scenario. It's more like, hey, I understand your goals, I understand your plans, here's some challenges that might be associated with your file, and let's make sure we get the timing all lined up. And then if you are ready and the mortgage advisor and you as a client are in agreement, then we're going to request documentation. So we're going to go through the documents, bank statements, pay slips, if you're self-employed, financials, if you've got rental properties, maybe some documents relating to that. All this documentation is the same thing that the bank is going to ask for, and what we're going to do is collect all of it, and it should be the one time that we need to do it for that time period. And that way, if we go to one of the banks and it doesn't work out, we can go to the other bank. We got everything that we need. So once we collate that information, review all of it, maybe in the mortgage advisor's team there's a submissions or settlement specialist. They're going to review everything and then they're going to submit it to the bank. Now sometimes if it's requiring a special banker, like a business banker, maybe we'll send it to that channel. But otherwise, the way the banks work is there's a broker channel and there's a retail channel, and they essentially compete against each other. So when you are talking to your bank, whether it's a private banker or you're just dealing with someone in the branch, the broker unit at the bank is actually separate, and they're working kind of most of the time against the retail unit to compete for business. Sometimes they work a little bit in conjunction, but what you just need to understand is the mortgage advisor is working in partnership with the bank and they're on your team. The mortgage advisor, the banker, the client, everybody wants to get the deal done, but only if there is a deal there, and that's based on responsible lending guidelines and based on the bank's own servicing criteria. So once that application is submitted to the bank's credit team and the bankers involved will assess and then either approve or decline. And it'll be declined with specific reasons, and maybe that can be reworked later. And if it's approved, there'll be conditions. Most applications come back with a bunch of conditions attached to them, and you've got to satisfy those conditions before you should, and you can go unconditional and before you can settle the loan. And then there might be bank accounts that need to be opened if you're new to bank, and a bunch of steps to take before you can get that property locked up. There's a bunch of bankers working in the background to make sure everything goes as smoothly as it can. Not always a perfect process, but once your mortgage is settled, everything should be set up online and you better access all of those accounts. The mortgage advisor can't see into the bank statement stuff, but the mortgage advisor can't log in, and the mortgage advisor doesn't get paid any different based on what rates you get. So it's our job to negotiate the best deal for you on the best terms. And then it's if you've got everyday banking things, you'll talk to the bank about that. That's how a mortgage advisor works. When you go through the process, it's similar to if you work with somebody in branch, but a mortgage advisor has access to all of the lenders, and sometimes there's some shortcuts, like we know which banker to talk to, we know which bank to talk to, things like dependents, kids, types of income, all those things play a big factor in which bank we'll choose for that specific client. And it's basically impossible to tell if you're not dealing with a high volume of mortgages every week, because the service and criteria at the banks change all the time. So if you want to work with a mortgage advisor, or you've got questions, leave it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos.